Once again to my channel, Fox Business. My name is Fusu Godwin, a marketing professional and a marketing trainer. In this video, we'll look at social media etiquette for small businesses. Social media etiquette for small businesses. If you subscribe to my channel, hit the subscribe button and subscribe. You see, most articles about social media and most training about social media usually talks about platform management or profile management. Now, let's look at the etiquettes that are required of social media marketers, be it a small business or even a large business. The first thing I'm going to talk about is deception, is to avoid deception. Don't post false information. Don't make false claims about your product and services on social media by posting content that is deceptive, content that does not actually go straight to talk about what your product does and what your product is capable of being, the solution your product is capable of solving. It's always good to avoid deceptive information, false claims. One particular product can perform so many functions that in reality cannot perform. This can damage your reputation, can damage your sales, and can damage the continuity of your business and your credibility on social media. Don't put up content that are not appropriate for a specific type of audience. Think of children, think of your target group, the type of content that really fits into them. Also, avoid too good to be true offers. Putting in too much too good to be true offers in your social media posts or in your social media content can also lead to some form of deception. Show empathy. Be sincere. Put yourself in the shoes of the audience. And as a matter of fact, produce content that really have impact on the target audience. Don't be too salesy, forcing your way to sell your product by force using deceptive advertising. Instead, educate, inform, and sometimes entertain your target audience and build some kind of an emotional connection between yourself and your target audience. Right. Always make sure that you develop a very high credibility in the message or in the content that you post. Message credibility is very important, and this may lead to message likability, and this may resonate with your target audience. Know your audience and know the type of content. Avoid false advertising or false content and deception. You know the product cannot work in specific areas. Don't display that in your advert that it works there. This may lead to some form of deception, and this may not be good for your brand reputation on social media. A lot of brands have faced issues with deception, and so don't be part or don't be one of those brands. The next thing I'm going to talk about is engagement. Engage with the audience. You shouldn't be one way, always posting and selling and being salesy all the time. You're always posting about you, your brand, and your product and services. It is good enough to adapt the 80-20 principle of social media. That is the 80-20 principle of social media. Engage 80% of the times and post 20% of the time. Engage 80% of the time and post 20% of the time. So what I'm trying to say here is that social media is an interactive media. Okay, it's an interactive advertising media and not just a billboard or a TV. And so it is good to comment on other people's posts, like, share, retweet other people's tweets, especially useful posts, like and comment, mention sometimes someone who has actually made an inquiry. You can mention him in your post, or satisfy a customer, you can mention him or her in your post, right? Or a new prospect that you have actually come across, you can mention him or her in your post. The most interesting thing about social media is that the more you interact, the more you tend to create people's interest in your brand. Listen and engage. Use hashtags to search around the social media world on all the platforms to see what people are saying. You can as well reach out to some of your competitors' followers as well, like their posts. Share their posts, retweet their tweets, and so on and so forth. Listen and engage. You can also offer gifts and incentives to new people that you connect with. Right? You can even offer promotion for new people that have actually followed you. If you can manage this, it's a bit of time and it's a bit of resources. So if you can manage this, you can also do that. Listen and engage, and don't let it be your brand. Don't sound too salesy, as if every time you want to force your products onto your target audience. Engage with them. Adapt the 80-20 principle, and this is going to be very good for you. You see, like I said earlier on, social media is an interactive media. It is not a one-way media. So it is good to also reach out to your audience as well. You can sometimes also follow certain people just to also show your interest in them. This is another nice way of being an ethical social media marketer or an ethical social media business. In fact, as a matter of fact, some of this audience that you interact with, and actually probably maybe give them gifts as in product samples, can also serve as social proof. After using your product, if they get satisfied, they're also going to write reviews about you on social media. And word of mouth is very powerful in marketing. So it is important, as a matter of fact, to also take a look at that. My next point, I think some social media professionals and some marketers will not agree with me, but let me go ahead and talk about my next point. Don't delete negative comments. Don't delete and ignore negative comments. You see, if you allow constructive criticisms, it also shows that you are transparent. Okay? In fact, I, for one, will not be so much comfortable to see a brand having 100% positive reviews, because no brand on this earth is 100% accurate. So I wouldn't love to see a brand that I want to choose, I want to buy, or I want to patronize, and as a matter of fact, it has 100% positive reviews. The good thing, or one thing to do here, is to combat that negative comment by replying to that particular comment and assuring your audience that you've taken the comment and you're going to work on it. If it is a false comment, let it be that it's a false comment. Let your audience know that it was a false comment, and as a matter of fact, it is not true. Issue a rejoinder so that your audience, as a matter of fact, also get to know that it's not true. This will make you appear transparent. See, some customers, in their quest to let you improve, will write negative reviews so that you can improve. Don't just neglect them. Reply to them, and then let the audience know that solutions has been put into place. There are control measures to prevent that particular issue. If it is true, if it's not true, let the audience know that it's not true. It was a false comment, it was a false statement. And probably if you have evidence of photograph or videos, you can post them alongside. And this is going to also be great for you. Don't ignore negative comments, because responding to negative comments would also make you appear transparent. Allow your audience, as a matter of fact, to handle this matter. Some of your audience will actually take control of some of these negative criticisms, right? If they are true, and they themselves will serve as some form of a PR for you. The next thing I'm going to talk about is privacy. Privacy. Connect before you message or you DM. You send a direct message into their inbox. Or you can send a direct message as a form of an invitation, but not to just go in straight to be salesy and sell to the audience. Right? This might sound a bit unethical and an infringement on the privacy of such audience. I have experienced this when I was working with an electrical company as a social media and digital marketing manager. I just jumped into someone's DM and he asked me to go through the necessary procedure by first of all connecting, and it wasn't one person, several people. So this will also be very helpful if you are operating in a very culturally sensitive market or an environment. Respect people's privacy. Research more about social media privacy in certain markets. Connect before you DM with your sales message. What I always normally do is that sometimes I even like your post, comment, and then from there on I DM you with my invitation and then follow up. It's another nice way of trying to reach out to your target audience inbox in a very much ethical way and in the right manner. The last thing I'm going to talk about is to be aware of platform specific rules and regulations, community guidelines, or platform specific community guidelines. You may breach some of these guidelines without knowing, and your account can be suspended. Just recently, one of the accounts that I handle was accused of breaking one of these community guidelines. But later on, when I issued a report to them, they got to realize that I have not offended any of their guidelines. It is important to read these guidelines. All the platforms have: Facebook have, Instagram have, Twitter have, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, and all the other platforms have it. It is important to read these community guidelines and understand them. It covers several areas. For example, sale of certain prohibited items, abuse, racism, hate speech, criminal behavior, safety. Certain content that are not supposed to be exposed to minors. Okay, intellectual property, that is respect for intellectual property, integrity, and protection of minors. These are very important guidelines that you always need to adhere to. So as a social media person, or as a small business, or as an SME that is using social media, it is important to read and understand all these community guidelines so you don't breach them. Thank you very much for watching my video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and subscribe. Don't forget to comment and share. And watch out for my next video. Thank you very much, and hope to see you watch my next video.